Yo, guys. Okay, so now it's the time for us to start thinking about getting out. Okay, Peter, let me know in the background if the background audio is good. You guys let me know if the background audio volume is good, because then I don't have to sit with bloody headphones on my face, on my ears the whole day. Okay. Okay, so good morning, PJ. Good morning, Renee. And good morning, Lumpy, Stanku. Everybody else joining in live. Hello to you. Okay, so we need to sort this out because the market has been pumping. And I gave you guys some really good entries leading up to where we are with Bitcoin and a few of the other coins. So we need to make sure that we've got our exits correct. Because if this is the beginnings of a move, I'll show some theory behind this. We want to buy the bloody dip. And we want to make sure that we get that right. And then we can also take that over to the altcoins like Ethereum, altcoins like Solana, altcoins like Cardano. And I saw Lumpy asking me, please, altcoins like DOT as well. So we can look at those coins today. So if this tickles your fancy, you think you might find some value in the stream, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Drop me a comment of the coin you're holding, the coin that's doing the best, and let's see whether that coin is an exit coin or whether that coin is a hold for more coin. Okay, right, guys. Let's see. Banterman is back. Hello, buddy. Nice to have you in the stream with us as well. And then Mr. Edu, as always. Nice to have you here as well. Okay, guys. Let's get to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin real quick. Okay. I'm going to take away the buddy indicator briefly, and I just want to look at the analysis. We've got it like this. I'm just going to do this. Okay. And the thing that I need to show you in order for you to be empowered so that you know how to get the exits, okay, is the following. When there is, and I'll go to the most recent highs, and we can use that as a the first thing that needs to happen. Okay, so let's start. Okay, in order for you to be able to identify a high, the first thing you need to do is have an RSI on your screen. There's my RSI. The second thing that you need to do is wait for the RSI to give you a pivot. What's a pivot? It's when the RSI is clearly moving in one direction and then pivots around and moves in the other direction. That's it. So you don't need to look at candles. You don't need to look at anything. You can just look at the RSI. And by that definition, what are we getting now? We're getting a situation where there was a pivot. Okay, finally. 4 hours. Yesterday, there was no pivot. You know, we were still chopping around. Now the RSI is trending in the opposite direction. First pivot in. Then the second thing you need to do is be able to do that on the other way around. So we need to find a bottom and then pivot back up. Why? Because divergence is comparing the success of highs with each other in relation to the lows, and then therefore be able to determine whether the market's going to turn around. And the trick that I'm going to show you is I'm going to point out to the statistically tool. I'm going to show you how you can use a FIB tool to statistically point when that divergence will occur, even before it's there. Okay. So now that we do have our high, we have got our pivot, we've got our RSI moving in the opposite direction. What do we want to do? We want to look at the entirety of the candles printing that's creating an RSI for us that's now moving in the opposite direction. So what I want to do is I want to use a FIB, and we can use a standard FIB for now, just a standard FIB. And I just want to move the 0 to the top. And, well, it's now flipped. Let's flip it back. Okay. The 0 to the top. So I'm just lining it up with a high. And I want to move the bottom to where there's a bottom forming. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to extend my FIB. Now, I know for those that are more technical advanced, there's FIB extensions and stuff like that, but they all work on the same ratio. So whether you use that tool or this tool, all you're looking for is an extension. And what I want to do is I want the market to go in an extension level. So I need to have a 0, and I need to have an additional values there. So I can say minus 0. Let's do this. Minus 0.238. Okay, let's do that. Okay, you'll see it starts moving the line up. Now, what I've done is I've preset mine already so that that's there. So let me just line, see, I've inverted this one. Let me just line that up. So what you can do is, and what I will do is, to just show you statistically where the divergence could occur, is just pause the screen, copy this information over, and then they're yours. Your stuff would look like this. Now, what do I mean by divergences now? So now you know that I'm trying to find a top. You have the tool to find your own top. So Mr. Lumpy, now you can actually go do that on your own dot, okay? What do I want to do further now? Now I need to just understand the basics or the mechanics behind divergence, because we're looking for a top now. And the big thing is we want to highlight with the vertical lines, probably the easiest tool, the areas where the market is showing you that it is turning. So that's the RSI already showing you it's turning. And why don't we just exit there? Well, simple. We believe the market trend's going to go on forever until it doesn't. But here's the catch now. When the market proves you to be wrong, you put a horizontal line on that. And you call that your pivot support, your thou shalt not cross line, whatever the case might be. Okay. Once price falls below that pivot, moves over, we need to think exit. Okay. Now, let me show you this. In the previous highs, exactly the same thing. Okay. So what do? We create a pivot. Okay. Once price falls below that, then we really need to worry. So we can speculate on these divergences, and I'm going to use that tool just to show you. You can speculate on these divergences. Go short, TP1. There's another divergence. Let's go from the high to the low. Go short, TP1. So you can see statistically the setup works. It's all there. But when we want to look for a trend reversal, what needs to happen is the market needs to fall below that pivot. And it's at that stage when I started to look for another swing longs. The same works for the bullish theory, okay? I'm going to take it, retrace to the low. You can see there, statistically, where's the buy? There's the buy. There's the invalidation, though. So you want to keep on tracking the market as it keeps on making lower lows and lower highs, because it will bring down the buys eventually, which means this is how I navigate the market, how I give you guys on YouTube on the latest stream, the simple spot buys, the buy boxes and the sell boxes. I have some method behind the madness. Okay. So now that we're in this area, what do we want to see? Have we broken trend? Are we bearish yet? No, we haven't broken any trend. So we're in a situation where we potentially here. Okay, that's all. I'm not saying it's over. That's why I'm saying exit signal. I'm not saying you should have exited. I'm saying exit signal. We're the beginnings of creating a divergence. And statistically, the probability for that is going to happen, or the most probable area for that to happen is going to be around 106 to 108. Now, the last time we were at those ranges, the market was kicking back and saying, it's a little expensive. I don't know, but Bitcoin needs to be more than that. So it's fair to assume that that area is going to act out as resistance again. Okay. So that's the area where you need to take profit. Okay. Which means that when you're there, the market will potentially come and bounce back at these lows where it was just now, or even lower. And then what does it do? It gives us a lower low on the RSI, which will give us wave on wave hidden bullish divergence for more, like it did there. Okay, so now you have all the tips and tricks that I have. Goes and gives you a lower low on the RSI, higher low on price, hidden bullish divergence for more. Whether that more is to the moon or whether that more is barely, but typically that is what's going to happen. Okay, so now you're all empowered. You know what to do. You've got the information. Let's have a look at this then. So for me, for Bitcoin, the big 4-hour short scenario now is coming to effect, okay? Because we've already fell below the critical pivots, okay? We're trading below this. So any move to the upside will be met with more divergence, and it's fair to assume that one good turn deserves another, okay? So we've had an insane amount of upward momentum. I'm not saying we're going to go back down there. I think we just need to come and fill some gaps so that we can form an established, more realistic trend for a continuation high, meaning this. Okay, so maybe not going to go below 100. We shouldn't go below 100. We've reclaimed a real significant level there, so we need to keep above it. but we need to have these waves, and that's where you want to exit. And that's a 10% on spot swing. So you sell a little bit, you buy a little bit back there. You're going to do the same for your ETH. You're going to do the same for your Solana. And that's how you farm a little bit more. Have a little bit more coins. So you're not necessarily exiting the market, because what if this thing just shoots through and we get shorts liquidated? I doubt that there's going to be a lot of shorts liquidated in that zone. So yeah, that's it. That's the play that I want to share. Okay, everyone on the same page. Let's see. Baby Shark says that's a cool plan. Nice to see you here. Kevin, when Moon, when Lambo? Oh, my friend. Moon and Lambo was last alt season already. So no more Moon and Lambos for me. Okay. When your Moon, when your Lambo. Okay. All right. Baby Shark's asking, are we Stefan? Good show. Okay, buddy. Nice to have you here, my friend. Good morning, Matty and Yuto as well. Okay, so let's now take this over to, let's conclude this. Let's finalize this with a simple setup. Okay. I'm going to take away the brush strokes. Let's conclude this. So this is the next formal setup that I'm sharing with you guys. 4-hour setup, and that's the play. Okay. So I'm going to move that in there, and it's going to form part of the previous setups. Short. Now, once I have a reason to swing long on a 4-hour, there will be a new setup there as well. Okay, so think of it something like this. We're looking for this version of a long, which is now going to be a short for potential and definite continuation of the move. There you have it. Okay, guys. Makes sense? Give me some likes. Peter, how many likes do we have at the background? You'll probably let me know soon. How many likes? Come on, guys. There's about 40 people. I'm no longer streaming to the other platforms, just streaming to YouTube. And Twitch, 40 people watching live. Let me know. 7 likes. Come on, guys, hit the like. Give me a little bit more likes there. Come on. Right, let's move on and look at the next coin, Ethereum. Start with the same playbook as I did the last time round. Okay, I'm just going to be way quicker now. Okay, so ETH. Yesterday we were worried, and we were hoping that there's going to be price grinding its way up to there. Okay. Now, Ethereum has done exactly the same from yesterday. We have got now more RSI moves. So we've got a pivot locked in. So the play is the same for Ethereum. Okay. Let's mark out the line, the first support area, thou shalt not cross. This thing is bullish. Okay. So what do I want to do? Do I want to exit on Ethereum yet? No, I don't want to exit on Ethereum, because we need to be below that line to consider exiting on Ethereum. Okay. Now, do we have divergence there? No. There's no higher high, higher low, nothing around that point. So everything is still pointing to a little bit more. So my ETH bags at this stage is no exit. Think bigger. Now, there's one thing that we need to point out. One thing I want to point out to you is this demand zone there in relation to the RSI and that demand zone there. So this could still retrace and still later on during the day go to these levels to give me the hidden bullish divergence that I want for the continuation. So in anticipation of that, I'm going to show you something different. I'm going to show you statistically where the continuation would be for this move. The strategy that I use is my Strat 4 strategy. Yet again, all this can be found in my Discord, guys, in the education section, which means that this would be the buy that I would consider going long for Ethereum to take it to at least the resistance range. Okay, there you have it. So there's ETH. So do I want to sell ETH at the moment? No, there's no sign for me to sell ETH. Let's have a look at Solana. Solana, let's see where we're at. So let's have a look at where our pivot is at. That's the highest point right there. So Solana's pivot sitting right there. So Solana is exactly the same play as Bitcoin. Makes sense, because guess what? We're at a real big resistance level. Remember now, this previous alt season that we had with the ideas that Bitcoin's going to go and everything went, nobody anticipated this massive retrace. The support for that was at this level at 180. Okay. And Solana now has creeped up to 180. Remember Friday I said when we were here, consider that it's going to go up a little bit more. Ethereum will outperform Solana because Ethereum is still on its way to try and get there. Makes sense then that Ethereum should not show us terminal bearish signals at the moment, because it still needs to get, or it's going to try at least to get to that level where Ethereum's support was. Okay. So we've got a situation where Solana is more bearish for me than Ethereum at the moment. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's over. It means now that we need to plan. So I'm going to hit the high, I'm going to hit the low, and I'm going to apply my strat. Okay, so very simple. 180 to 186 is a plausible area where Solana would turn around. Okay, and at that stage, probably we'll go back again and fill that gap. The lows for this is still 150. With that being said, we could potentially then look for continuation, but because we don't have a real good high, I cannot apply the strat for at the moment. I need this stop to form. Now, let's tentatively say, okay, because we've already got hidden bullish divergence in that sense, but let's tentatively say we're looking at these lows here, and we're going to move to those highs there, at the entry, tentatively, okay? So statistically, 160, 150 still remains the most probable area after the move plays out. Okay, so for the rest of the day, your job is very simple, guys. You're going to have to keep an eye on Bitcoin, okay? See whether it wants to enter that zone there, and wait for your short setup. Me, I am trading in the Discord. If you want to trade with me, all you need to do is open a Prime XBT account. Compliments of Prime, you will have access to my buddy indicator. If you do that, all you need to do is head over to the Discord and click on the navigation page and click on the partners tab, and then it will take you to the Prime where you can claim it. A little button will give you a button like that to claim it. Now, there's something I want to share with you guys. This is why my Discord is not publicly accessible to anybody. You have to have a partner link to be able to chat and talk. Okay, so you have to have it because it's full of people that come in onto the Discord, rename themselves as community info or some sort of BS, and then drop spam in there. Those guys can now only spam in a ticket. They cannot spam to anybody that is new. They cannot spam anywhere. So the Discord is spam free for that reason. We're working with real money. So if ever there's a reason for you to actually do this, other than just for the sake of supporting the content, this means that once you're in the Discord and you do have your partner roles, you're safe. You're in an area where there's other traders. Now, if spammers now start opening trading accounts to join in just to spam, I'm going to have to change that idea. But for now, I think we're good. Okay. Right. Let's see where we're at, guys. So keep in mind, Sol OB is at 6.2. Good support, also small channel. Look, man, I just point out the simple levels for you guys. And in the end of the day, there's so many strategies out there, so many ways to skin a cat. This is what works for me. It's simple. It's easy to explain. I can pass it through to you guys in less than 15 minutes. And that's it. And for me, that's what works. So whatever works for you, go for it. Use these support and resistance levels as I mark them out for you as a good reference point to whatever strategy you feel you need to use. Okay. There you have it, guys. For the rest of the day, I'll be in the Discord. I will be in the public trade chat. So this is the private one. We had a setup last night where we were going long. It doesn't look that good. There's a setup as well where I'm going short, the same setup I've shared with you guys to an extent. Okay. And I'll be in the public area. I'll be hunting more trade setups. Yet again, you can view at no effort. You can just join and go and view. Links in the video description. If you want to chat and be able to send text messages, share charts, and you need to have a partner role. And it's as simple as that. Go to navigation, click on the video description if you want to get to the Discord. And get a partner role. Prime XBT is today's partner, but any of the other roles will work for you. Simple as that. There you have it, guys. Thanks so much for taking the time. There you go. Let's see what else we have. I think that is that. Yeah, we look at the dominance. We looked at the dominance yesterday. I spent a lot of time in there, PJ. So please go and have a look at yesterday's stream. That everything is said there is still valid and relevant. Matty says he's liked it twice. PJ, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, please, buddy. That's it. For the rest of you guys, if you want to have a look at, I said I'll look at 2 coins. Let's quickly have a look at SUI. I think that is an important next coin that will probably be entering the daily checklist. Okay, so let's bring up SUI. Where is SUI in my Twitter, my YouTube list. It's somewhere there. Let's just load it. Okay. So let's have a look at SUI real quick. Same analysis. Remember, this is 4 hour. This has got no bearing on any of your larger hodl bags. Okay. So what do you have with SUI? Okay. This tells you basically this thing went from $2 to $4 again. That's a double your money. So it's fair to assume that there is going to be some sort of a divergence. You can see the RSI is there, but look at how far SUI is above that pivot. Then there's another divergence. Okay. And this is for this move. Okay. And if you look at that, it's sitting right there. It means that it's there. Now, if I use this tool that I've got now, SUI is a little more mature. It's a little further down the road. If I do that, you'll see that that lines up exactly in anticipation of where the divergence would be. Remember, you want a higher high and lower high in the RSI. You've got this high, you've got this low. You don't need any of that information. You've got the high, you've got the low. You can see that it's turning around. That's where you apply it, and then you wait for it. So SUI is in that exit zone at the moment. It's fell below the pivot, and SUI would potentially go back to $3.50. And we don't want to see a lower low. Okay, and simple as that. It needs to hold and move on. Something similar to how Solana, yet again, we're going to use it as a fractal. You can actually go and copy the candles and apply them onto SUI just to give you an idea. Something similar to what we had here with Solana. Okay, massive divergence. You don't want to see the lower low. Okay, as soon as there's a lower low, it's bad. Okay, stay in there, stay in there, stay in there. It gave you one last big hurrah and then fell to the floor. Okay, there you have it. Thanks so much, guys. Have a lovely day. See you in the afternoon. There will potentially be, I don't know, make sure to hit the notification button. There will potentially be another stream where we're going to be looking at some more of your alts. Alts like, alts like Aptos. NEAR is a really big deal at the moment. We need to go and have a look at that this afternoon. And so on. Right, guys. Cheers.